We told you last week about China's retaliatory measures against Trump's tariffs with the Boeing story. Well, it seems, at least at this point, that it might just be backfiring on China. According to many sources out there at the moment, China is indeed feeling the pain not just of Trump's tariffs, but a culmination of what's been coming for a very long time. From Zero Hedge, China is in economic dire straits and they're no longer able to hide it. And so Tyler starts this by acknowledging that official economic data from any government is always treated with suspicion by anyone with common sense. And he references all of the nonsense that came out of the Biden administration and the lies about the economy. But he says, in China, lying about the economy is treated as a national security imperative. If there's anything in the world that gives communists a feeling of existential dread, it's the fear that their ideological enemies will discover proof that communism doesn't work. The Trump administration's tariffs on China are not the initiator of the nation's troubles, but they are more of a bookend to a process of decline that's been ongoing for years. So overall, tariffs on Chinese goods currently sit at 124%, but some goods will be taxed as high as 245%. Trump has given a 1-month exemption on electronic parts and devices. But the problem for Chinese manufacturers is not just the tariffs, but the uncertainty of timing and sudden changes to policy. They say no one is willing to make a big move on production or shipments until the trade landscape becomes more predictable. This means most Chinese factories are frozen. Trump's tariff actions are widely criticized by the media as erratic or poorly planned, but what they don't understand is that the uncertainty is the real leverage, not the tariffs. What seems like a spur-of-the-moment decision or a sudden capitulation on Trump's part can be highly effective at throwing foreign governments and corporations off balance. Globalism requires a perpetual status quo. Change of any kind is like holy water to a vampire. Chinese shipments are actually on standby and orders are frozen. Nothing is moving. We want to play you some interesting insight from China Observer on YouTube.
Effects on China's exports and the shipping until new rules emerge and the market gradually recovers. Trump's reciprocal tariff plan has indeed had negative effects on China's exports and the shipping industry. The US-China route is a critical part of China's shipping industry, and the decline in cargo volume will lead to excess container shipping capacity, falling freight rates, and shrinking profit margins for logistics companies. Some shipping companies may even face insolvency. Southeast Asia has become a heavily impacted area due to the U.S. reciprocal tariffs. For Chinese companies relying on U.S.-China trade, they did not expect that Trump would impose such strong tariffs on Southeast Asian countries like Cambodia and Vietnam. With the tariffs now in place, the profits of Chinese companies exporting to the U.S. have decreased significantly, as some have nearly become non-existent. The more they export, the more they lose, and even their attempts to use transshipment trade have been blocked.
And perhaps even more interestingly is Chinese nationals reporting how much of an effect this is having on their businesses.
Hey, what I fear the most has happened. I got an email early this morning from a U.S. client who purchases several $1 million worth of goods each year. Due to changes in Trump's tariff policies, they'll indefinitely suspend their orders. I read it and nearly passed out. What do we do now?
今年50%以上的工厂都会倒闭。
More than 50% of factories will close this year. The golden era, when machines were running nonstop, is over. My brother, I just got off the phone with a client. He's gone bankrupt and has cleared out his stock. A lot of my clients in my WeChat moments are gone now. My peers are desperately slashing prices and extending payment terms. We have orders with payment terms, but we can't collect the money. Those doing cash sales can't even get orders.
Zero Hedge says China will not be able to survive tariffs on the current scale for long. A single year of 124% tariffs would crush China's economy beyond repair. As anyone knows who's run a high turnover business, it usually runs on low margins or profits, expecting a high turnover in sales. These are all at play on percentage points. The slightest movement in those percentage points could materialize in such magnificent losses and cash flow issues that could bankrupt said business. It's the same, just on a bigger scale when we talk about global trade, especially the likes of a country like China. When they rely on certain concessions or tariffs to run their models and something changes, and in this case overnight, even by the slightest margin, then something of this magnitude could send China into a spiral. Throw into the mix, per Zero Hedge, that since 2023, China has been mired in a deflationary crisis triggered by the CCP's severe pandemic lockdowns that negated an export boom, leading to economic stagnation, a collapsed property market from government-subsidized overbuilding of shoddy tofu-dreg structures, and widespread corporate defaults that have devastated investors. Despite brief optimism about government recovery efforts, Vanke, a major state-linked developer, reported a historic 49.5 billion yuan loss for 2024, its first since 1991, highlighting the crisis's depth. The deflationary spiral has fueled unpaid wages, factory closures, protests, and suspicious fires, while China's debt exceeding 300% of GDP limits stimulus options. Leaked videos by citizens bypassing the Great Firewall expose the economic decay despite CCP efforts to suppress such information as a national security threat, underscoring China's precarious position in a fragile, interdependent global economy heavily reliant on Western exports. In closing, what Trump is doing seems to be the final nail in the coffin of an already failing economy. The question is, how will they retaliate next? We want to tell you about how millions of Americans are taking advantage of these uncertain times in financial markets. Tariffs, auditing Fort Knox, government shutdowns, escalating wars, and governments running out of money. No wonder there is extreme volatility in the markets. Silver and gold thrive in times of chaos, as they are now. Take advantage of this once-in-a-generation opportunity to thrive and call Kirk Elliott Precious Metals at 720-605-3900 or go to kepm.com/pulse. Learn how to protect your retirement assets with a firm that will educate you, not overcharge you with high commission gold and silver, and doesn't charge a commission when you sell. Call them today on 720-605-3900. There are ads for gold and silver on nearly every show these days, but I have a warning for you. Don't overpay for your stuff. Stay away from overpriced, high commission, rare or semi-rare coins for personal delivery or in your IRAs. Only purchase low-cost bullion that is 100% liquid from a firm that doesn't even charge a commission when you liquidate. Call KEPM at 720-605-3900 or go to kepm.com/pulse to learn more and take advantage of what may be the largest bull market of a generation. And that's all that we have time for this evening. You can catch us every single weeknight at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's every weekday, Daily Pulse, where we keep your finger on the pulse of the latest breaking news and the news they're keeping from you. You can support us to stay independent by shopping directly with our sponsors who make this show possible. Their links are in the description below. You can also like, share, and give us your thoughts and comments on the broadcast. Please also follow Vigilant Fox on Rumble as well as Vigilant Fox on X, and subscribe to Vigilant Fox's Substack to keep up to date with deep dives on the latest news. You can also follow Z Media on Rumble, where we post our long-form interviews, deep dives, and investigations, and follow us on X at ZEEE_media. All of our content is also on zmedia.com. Tomorrow night, we have a very special show for you with a doctor that is seeing miraculous results with something you wouldn't expect. And guess what? Big Pharma hates it. So that's why we have to tell you about it. That will be Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Tell everyone about it. And as always, keep your finger on the pulse with the Daily Pulse. Good night.